Here is a number that stopped us in our tracks. 40% of US adults who combine finances with their partner admit to some form of financial infidelity. Hidden debt, secret spending, accounts the other person doesn't know exist. And some of those couples, 85% say it caused real damage to their relationship. Arguments, broken trust, and for 16% of those couples, it actually ended the relationship entirely. So we sat down and asked each other the question that most couples are too scared to ask out loud, which is, what would we actually do if one of us was hiding something and it came out? So that is this conversation. All right. So, what does financial infidelity actually look like in practice? Now, it's not always this huge dramatic thing. It can be small habits, things that you're doing, like secret shopping accounts or understating your debt, lying about things. And from a legal lens, like, just, I know people don't like to talk about divorce, but in divorce situations, I have seen those small habits turn into very big problems. Okay. So we're going to get a little bit into that. And I would like to know, just like from a cybersecurity perspective, since that's your bread and butter,
Got you.
yes. What do you think about this whole financial infidelity topic? What does that look like from a cybersecurity
For sure.
perspective?
Yeah. So if you're talking about any kind of infidelity or any kind of sneaking around, especially if you're on the same team, right? Or supposed to be on the same team, my immediate thought goes to insider threat, which is probably one of the worst enemies of cybersecurity, because you trust them, or you're supposed to trust them. So the entire time they have access that they are granted because you gave it to them, which, in the case of finances, you give them access. You might live together, you all might share expenses. So this is the type of access that financial infidelity could, creep its head, because you are sharing expenses. You might be sharing bank accounts. So just like in cybersecurity, it doesn't have to be this gigantic explosion, this, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this huge thing. It could be small things. Like you mentioned, shopping. Let's take that as an example, right? Small shopping habits where, you could, small leaks, essentially. And financial infidelity works just like that, right? It doesn't have to be huge, it can be small, but it compounds over time. And that is where the real damage happens. Because if you don't recognize something happening, just like with cybersecurity, someone taking files little by little, a gig here, half a gig there, nothing that's going to make the alarms blare. Just like with finances, if you're spending $75 here at a store, it's just, they went shopping. Cool. They got something small. Those tiny things can also lead to, something over time, huge. But yeah. And also, on top of that, just like how in cybersecurity, one thing that I always teach is to the kids, is digital footprints. Everything is tracked, especially now.
That's so scary.
Everything is tracked. It's scary, but it protects us. That's the whole purpose of it, right?
Protects us.
Yes, it protects us. In this case, if you are dealing with financial infidelity, you want those digital footprints so that you can prove things, like have transactions, have statements, credit card pulls, because your bank might not show what you purchased, but then receipts. And if you have a certain account if you have an Amazon account, look at the history. So transactions, statements, credit pulls, especially the credit pulls, because those are really going to dig deep since they're attached to your credit score.
And did you know married couples have a joint credit report?
Oh.
Yeah. So when I was doing my mortgage loan originator course, when we did the in-person practical training, they were showing us that when a couple is applying for a mortgage and the loan originator runs their credit, it shows up as a joint credit report, and both people get access to that.
How does that work? They combine the credit?
It's a combined credit report. So basically you put in both people's information. So even though we don't have like all of our accounts together and stuff, you put in both people's information, and what is generated is a combined credit report.
Oh, so this is if you are both applying to be, say, on some large loan.
Yes. Okay. Like if you're both going to be accountable. So like, let's say we go and decide we need a new primary residence, right? We decide we both want to be on the loan. And so we go and apply in both of our names. So both names on the loan and both names on the title. And they do a joint credit report. So it gives 3 scores. So a tri-merge report, 3 scores for you,
tri-merge,
3 scores for me. Tri-merge is like TransUnion,
Equifax,
and Experian. Yes. So it gives that for both of us. Okay. But it also gives all those accounts, any delinquencies. And so it's combined whether you want it to be combined or not.
Yeah. So hint, if you are going to decide to purchase, know that there's not something you're going to be able to hide, right? At that point, your partner is going to have to see everything on your credit score, everything on your credit report. Just keep that in mind. Also, not trying to find a way to sneak around it, right? And not trying to give you hints to say, but that's what this whole episode is about, right?
Yeah.
Is understanding that financial infidelity does exist, can exist, and ways to avoid it, right? So, yeah.
And I think a lot of people just assume that they won't get caught, right?
For sure.
And
I mean, how would they, right? Unless you being Sherlock Holmes and you're actually looking for something, why would it?
Right. So like a bit about my history of prior relationships. And so when I had a suspicion about one thing, the way I was being Sherlock Holmes is crazy, okay? I was hacking into accounts. I'm talking about email accounts, bank accounts. And you know what? It's the password weakness, okay? Because a lot of times people use the same passwords. And so it was very easy to hack into things, right? It's just combinations of names and birthdays and all that stuff, right? So once I got into an email, I said, oh, it's over, because now we got 2-factor authentication. I'm in your email. If I'm trying to get into your bank account, all I got to do is reset the password and quickly go delete the email showing that I reset the password. Look, I was deep up in there.
I'm tell you, if someone gets your email, it's over. Because they can do so much damage.
So I was deep up in that thing, right? So when I suspected infidelity and I finally was able to get into the bank account, that's where I confirmed everything, right? So I'm seeing transactions like from flower shops and stuff, and I'm like, well, I ain't never got no flowers. So what's going on?
It's not funny.
I mean, it's crazy. It's actually crazy to think about, but I had to go and look at transactions, and because there's a level of intelligence, right? Like people will delete emails. Sometimes they don't triple delete, so you can go through the trash and stuff, and I've done that. But, getting to the bank statements, you can't edit that. It's just straight from the bank. And I was like, but she was spending this on flowers, but couldn't help with the utilities. Like, anyway, that's another story for another day. But all that to say, people don't think about the paper trail that they leave behind, right? And it's interesting how cybersecurity fits into that financial infidelity piece. And I just never really thought about that until right now, actually. But some things people don't think about are actually discoverable in divorce as well. So some states are actually fault divorce states, meaning you can be penalized if you do certain things. Like California is not one of those states. So if you get a divorce in California, the judge doesn't necessarily care that one person was unfaithful. But there are still states in this country where if you were unfaithful, you will be penalized. And what do you think they're looking to find out if you was unfaithful?
Your bank statements,
all that,
you spending,
all that.
You got this room, all this,
Yes, they're looking at a legal paper trail, and all these things are actually discoverable and subpoenable in the divorce case. So they're looking at your tax return documents, joint tax returns, even if you're married filing separately. They're looking at credit reports. They're looking at your Venmo, Cash App, and Zelle statements, cryptocurrency statements, real estate records, retirement and investment accounts. Like in a lot of states, all of these things are accessible and can be used to determine fault in a divorce. And so that's the difference between potentially having to pay alimony or not, right? Potentially having to pay more in the event of a divorce and not. And I'm not trying to encourage, hiding things or whatever. I'm just saying, like, people don't think about, like, no, what's done in the dark is going to come out in the light. I've heard that so many times, but people are not thinking about like their paper trail and what kind of digital footprint they're leaving behind.
Exactly.
And so how does this kind of information change like how you think about financial transparency, just like in life or in our relationship? Because I mean, we didn't start off like totally transparent.
Well, I think that's normal, right?
Right.
It's normal for every relationship to not be completely financially transparent because you don't know if you're going to spend the rest of your life with that person.
I know.
Okay. Yes. But
you didn't know.
Okay.
That's all you.
Right. So in that moment or in that time of, still learning each other, it's like, do I want to share all this information with her? And then there became a time where it's like, okay, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person. How comfortable am I disclosing everything?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that happened in the beginning of our relationship, our marriage, was my uncomfortableness with the debt that I had.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to talk about that later. But one of the questions is, have you ever felt the temptation to keep something financially to yourself? Yes.
What was the temptation?
Because, everybody has this thought, well, not everybody, but being a man in our relationship, I want to be the person that can handle situations, the person that can take care of financial situations. And I also wanted to portray like, everything was fine. Nothing was completely out of control, but it was uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
Right. Given the steps that we took recently, purchasing homes, grabbing and purchasing timeshares, right? Spending money on business startups.
Yeah.
A lot of new expenses create, not to mention, options trading and those types of things, which we'll probably talk about later. But those types, because that's, sometimes that stuff can be embarrassing.
Options trading.
Yeah, it can be embarrassing, right? So when it came to that, my temptation was shame, right? It was like, I don't want to feel embarrassed. I don't want to feel, embarrassed. That's just the word I'm looking for. I didn't want to feel embarrassed. So I was like, you know what? I'll fix it before it even becomes a thing.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. So what ended up happening was me taking a deep breath, hearing you talk to me that one time in the airport. And
that one time in the airport.
And since then it was just like, you know what, DeShawn, it's not you. Like, you have a partner now. And it will be okay. Right. So that's when the conversation started becoming less tense and more like, and then when I had the first conversation and I said, yeah, this is how much debt I have, you're like, oh, okay. It's like, wait, what? That's it? That's it? You don't care? You're not going to be like, how the heck did this happen? Like, nothing like that. So then from there, it just felt good to talk about it, because it felt bad to not talk about it and to feel like that I needed to fix it and have everything cleaned up,
I think people underestimate that too, like the toll that it takes on you to hold on to whatever anxiety or thoughts you're having about the thing you're hiding. There's a weight that it has on you. It's a stressful thing. Even just like, I remember as a kid, the feeling I felt when I knew I lied. Like, I was like 8 and I stole money from my cousin. Okay. And everybody was looking for that money. And I was like, I don't know what that money is. Okay. I ain't seen it. I don't know. It was like $20.
Gaslighting.
And
that was your first time gaslighting. Like, I don't know where that money is. Have you checked?
I was like, I need this money. And I don't even know what I needed it for. I think I needed to like replenish my supply to like sell candy at school or something. Anyway,
that's wild.
I took this $20 and people was looking for it all over the place. She was distraught. Like, oh my God, I don't know what happened to my money. I was like, I don't know what that money is. And I just felt so tense. Like, it just was really stressing me out. And I will never forget this feeling, because I was like, man, should I say something? Like, I just feel really, my chest is tight. Like, my body is not regulated, right? My nervous system was not okay, because I knew I was hiding something, right? And everybody was looking. So I was like, the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be. And it was so true. Like, it finally came out, or it didn't really come out. My dad directly asked me, like, Ashlee. And I was just like shaking. I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm about to die.
I'm about to die.
He was like, Ashlee, did you take that money? And I just buckled and I was like, yes. And he was like, why would you ever steal? Like, you could come to me, you could ask me for $20, you don't need to steal it. And like, it just, I will never forget that. But I just remember like like it felt like such a weight was lifted, even just in breaking down and crying and being like, I stole that money, okay, and I lied repeatedly, okay. Like, and so I think people also underestimate just like the toll it takes on your body, on your mental health, and like the impact that actually has on your relationship over time. Just that hiding, right? And so, have I ever felt the temptation to keep something? You? Yes. Okay. So for me, I knew how much you cared about debt. And I think for me, I was scared to admit that like I don't care, right? Because I was scared that you were going to be like, oh, she is off the chain. She's financially irresponsible. And so I was trying to like portray this like, no, yeah, debt elimination. Yeah, I care. Oh, yeah, for sure. We should definitely not have that. Meanwhile, I'm racking up these credit cards like nobody's business, right? But you know, it's also like it really ties back to your childhood and like how you grew up. Like I was introduced to credit cards very early. I was very comfortable with debt management extremely young. 10 years old is when I got my first credit card. And so my relationship with debt was just very different. And when I heard you talking about it, I was like, what's the big deal? Like it's just money. Like, and we just have different philosophies about money.
For sure.
But I was scared to say like, I don't care.
Yeah.
To eliminate or eradicate any of this, right? Like, and I was just scared to admit that, and so I didn't say anything for a long time.
Yeah.
And so not even that. I think it was more recently that I was like, so the thing is, I don't really care like that. Like, I'm gonna get on board with the joint goal and all that, but I was definitely afraid to admit that because I thought you were gonna judge me based on that. Yeah. And then another thing that I was tempted to hide is just like how much I don't care about saving. Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fine. I don't.
But I care now.
I think saving has its purpose.
Yeah. Right.
But I care less about saving now than I used to.
Interesting.
Growing up.
I care more
because saving doesn't move your money as fast, but debt can drain your money faster than saving can increase your money.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like debt.
Yeah.
Because you save 3% max, 4%. If we're talking like, high yield. Debt, 20%, 28%.
Yeah.
It's like it's night and day.
Yeah.
So that's why debt kick rocks. It got to be gone. It's very, very uncomfortable. I
agree.
But I don't need to.
I'm on board.
Okay. Yeah. Now, that's good.
But before, I was like,
it's just, to me, it's math, right? Like, it's just.
Yeah.
We can't really.
No. And I needed to see the numbers, right? I'm very much a numbers person. But yeah, that was something that I was scared to admit. In terms of like transparency in a systematic way, like what would you say are things that we've done to build this level of financial transparency in our marriage to make sure that we are not committing financial infidelity?
Yeah.
Can you think of anything?
Yeah. I mean, the first is the financial date nights that we do, that we conduct. During those financial date nights, we look at all the debt between the both of us, right? There's not anything that we have to hide anymore. That definitely makes me feel more comfortable. And what before had me thinking, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to bring it up. Now I'm like, I can't wait to talk about it because now it's like, look at how much I paid.
Yeah.
Compared to what it looked like when we first started the financial date nights. So it's like, look how much progress we've made.
Yeah.
Look at all this. Yeah. So
and doesn't it feel less heavy just knowing that like this is a together thing?
Yeah.
It's not, I have to carry all of the debt of the world on my shoulders by myself.
And I think even our joint accounts, though, we have like small joint accounts, I would say. We haven't combined our like.
And you've been stealing money that's supposed to be in our joint account.
What money have I been stealing?
I'm supposed to be sending DeShawn money every month for our joint account, and this man has moved it to a individual account. Okay, and say he gonna move it to the joint account.
That's because the joint account we had
financial infidelity right there.
No, I told you about it.
You were still unfaithful.
I'll add your name eventually.
You said that a month ago. He's shaving off the top, okay?
No. Not shaving anything off the top.
You didn't put my name on the account.
It was too many like holes to hop through to go to whatever. What was that? Whatever account you had.
So we have a Raisin
like
savings account.
Put the money here, and then that money has to settle, and it takes 3 days.
Yeah,
and
that's the whole
here
point.
To there,
but that's the point, to make it difficult to access, right?
No.
Yes,
I need the savings needs to be accessible.
But it's not accessible to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Because now that the money is not in the joint account, it's literally not accessible by me. Okay, it's only accessible by you.
Yeah. But that's the easy fix.
But you ain't fixed it. Okay. That's the infidelity.
But when I do that, you know what's gonna happen?
What?
We're gonna have potentially, maybe, hopefully not, but some emergency, and we're gonna be able to get the money that day.
That's great.
Instead of needing to transfer the money from the savings into the holding account, and then from the holding into the bank account.
No, I hear you. But the thing is, it's the order of operations, right? Like this would have been a conversation prior to action, right? But actually, what happened in practice is an executive decision was made, and then I was brought in on this after the fact, right?
Sometimes it be like that.
No.
You gave me the power. You said, DeShawn, you're going to hold the money. I said, I got it.
No, I didn't.
You literally did.
I said, you're going to put the money in the joint account. And you didn't.
You said a joint account. All right, I'm just playing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't feel like doing the whole race.
You see how this happened?
The first month I explained, I was like, hey, I opened up a Amex for us to put our money in because I don't want to do the jumping around.
You opened up an Amex that only you have access to.
But but you trust me, right?
All right, now.
See, that's the difference between financial infidelity.
Now that we know that you have committed financial infidelity, the question is, would you stay if you found out? Okay?
Hold on, hey, you skipping so many questions. What about you?
What about me?
How have we built transparency into our marriage system? You can't say the same things that I said.
I will say having joint goals. So we have a joint debt pay down goal. It is a 2-year goal, and it is very elaborate. Okay. And I think that builds transparency and makes opportunities for conversations and accountability, especially when DeShawn tries to bend the rules, and we have to have a conversation.
Bend don't break. We can always bend it back.
I think that is a system. So, and then having spending check-ins and things like that. So, like if you're transparent about the person and their behavior and how they are, like, your Amazon habit, like us both acknowledging that. And
I kicked that habit. I think it's been 3 months.
Us both acknowledging that and building that into, our transparency plan, right? Like having those check-ins and being like, I would like to go on Amazon or wherever and buy Meta glasses, right? Or I want to buy.
I didn't buy them.
Yeah, because it didn't make no sense.
I didn't buy the telescope.
Right.
I didn't buy the Lego set.
Because why are those?
I didn't buy the hot tub. I didn't. You know how many things are just sitting.
But see, that's the thing. I feel like having that like system. You know how like the U.S. system has like the judicial branch.
Yes.
And they can veto each other. Like I think a veto system when you know your partner,
right,
is important. Okay.
I didn't buy the backpack because I called you and you were like, you don't need this. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because you got 1,000 backpacks. 1,000.
Okay.
And I be getting you new backpacks. I just got you a new backpack.
You did. But that's a work backpack. I needed a workout backpack for the gym. I'm not bringing that nice backpack to the gym.
Okay. You see? Okay.
But what I'm saying is
why you need systems.
The system worked.
Yeah.
It's working.
But some people don't have systems though.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I think people have to have the conversation and be transparent about who they are, what their challenges are, what their habits are. Like we know that I'm more inclined to make an impulsive investment than to make an impulsive purchase, right? Like, and we know you're more inclined to make an impulsive purchase online
for sure
than to make you're very cautious in your investments, but very quick to pull the trigger in your purchases. And I'm like the opposite.
I think that you invest very differently than I do for sure.
Right.
You explore more investments than I do. And then the reality is there are some things that we don't talk about or that we don't come to each other and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. Right.
Because we don't have to though.
Because we don't have to.
Because that's the structure and setup of our marriage finances. Though. Yes. That's something that was created prior to marriage. Yes. Right. And so there's things you can do to kind of maintain autonomy and control over certain things. And then there's other things where it's like, no, we need to have a conversation about this, right?
Very true.
So I think that is a conversation that's often missing.
Yeah. You got to talk about what changes after you get married. What are you still going to have autonomy over? Is it that you talk to your partner about every single purchase, every single investment? Or is it that you trust your partner enough to not go blow money at the casino, right? As a form of, whatever it is, a habit or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to know yourself, and you have to understand what and how your marriage is going to grow, because it has to be built on trust, especially when it comes to your finances.
Yeah.
I was going to add to that, and I mean, we kind of talked about it a lot, but something else that has helped build transparency is just having open communication, which is everything we talked about, right? But just kind of being comfortable enough to say, this is what I want to do. What do you think? This is what I did. What do you think? Right? Not feeling that embarrassment or feeling bad if your partner says, no, I don't think you need that. Because I felt that before too, right? Like, I really wanted those meta glasses. And I was like, dang, I tried to convince you so many times. Like, I think I've asked you maybe like 3 times, and you're still just like, nah.
Because it didn't make no sense.
Because it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, people have heard it before, right? If you really want to get something, give it a day and think about it. And I'm like, I don't need those glasses. But then it'll come back and they're like, I'm still like, I don't need those glasses. I can come up with any excuse, but the whole thing is me being, me having the conversation with Ashlee is not going to allow me to say, man, she just doesn't want me to have fun, or she doesn't see what I see. It's like, okay, this doesn't fit the plan, because I know that I'm an impulse buyer, and sometimes people forget. Like, they'll just say, it's just this one thing. Why are they tripping?
Yeah.
Like, nah, you have to, once you agree to do something, I mean, I think that would be breaking, honestly. That would be breaking the rule. That's not bending. Bending the rule is like,
DeShawn loves this bending concept, because he wants flexibility, but when you're making rules,
you gotta have
you like to be inflexible. Like, when you're making rules, you are headstrong. You're like, no, this is what it is. This is important, blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, okay, that's the energy we coming with. We here, right? Mm-hmm. But then when it no longer serves him, or in the moment where it's like you're feeling a different vibe, like, you have to trust in, one, the plan you created,
right,
and why you made that plan, and then 2, trusting in your partner and that they have your best interest in mind. Like, when you want to buy 10 drinks when we're out, like, it's not that I want to make you not have fun, right?
Yeah,
it's that I'm not saying you did that.
I'm about to say 10 drinks. Dang. Oh.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not that I don't want you to have fun, or I'm trying to like cramp your style or whatever. Like, I'm actually looking out for you from a financial perspective, from a health perspective. Like, I got you. Yeah, like, I think there's some of that missing, and people just get defensive in the moment. They're all up in their feelings, but they really need to take a step back and be like, wait a minute. Like, we talked about this. We had a plan for this. Like, how do I reel myself back in and get back to what we agreed on, essentially?
Exactly. So, okay, go ahead. You can ask that question.
Okay, so the question of the day is, if you found out your partner was being financially unfaithful, which we know we found out DeShawn was being financially unfaithful when he made that account and siphoned off some of our funds into it, would you stay if you found out?
Well, I think we know the answer to their question. You're still here. So you would stay.
It depends.
I think
on the level
it really just depends
of infidelity. And now let me tell you. So I have a person that I know, and I guess they weren't watching the accounts that closely or whatever, but their spouse wired out several $100,000 from the joint account to an offshore account. Okay, and the person didn't find this out until they were served with divorce papers. Okay. That is what prompted them to look into the finances, which is really unfortunate, right?
So the person who took the money was also the person that served the divorce. So, oh, wow.
And the reason this was even possible is because all their money was together. Now, I'm not advocating for any type of financial setup or whatever. I'm just saying, like, the reason that was possible is because all the money was together in a joint account where everyone has both, like, equal rights. And also that person wasn't fully paying attention to the accounts, right? So there's 2 lessons here. Like, think before you join, okay? That's what my dad would say. And then the second is be vigilant, right? Like, look at your money. Like, I have a business coach that is like, you need to be looking at your money every day. And I was like, every day?
Never trust, always verify.
Never trust?
Look, hey man, I'm just saying, in cybersecurity, the whole trust but verify, it don't work no more. It doesn't, man. And
no
I mean,
faith in humanity.
I'm not saying you have to be paranoid and you have to, always think that someone is doing something. But like you said, just watch, right?
Yeah.
If she was doing if they were doing something as simple as,
how you know it's a she?
I don't know. I don't know. If they were doing something as simple as paying attention, right, then it could have potentially been avoided, or at least noticed, and something could have been done, or there could have been some type of awareness. But not everyone looks at their checking account or their bank accounts every single day.
I know.
Something else you could do is just set alerts.
I know.
You don't even have to look at it. You could just say, if this much money leaves my account in a single transaction or in this amount of time, send me an email. Let me know.
Yeah.
So that is something else you could do. Turn on automation. I am a big fan of letting the robots do the work for me.
So what kind of unfaithful financial act would I have to do for you to leave me?
You would have to do something similar to what happened to you, which is like, support someone else like heavily though.
Like,
right? buy someone else like a car,
chocolates for a man.
Sure. I mean, that's like for infidelity. But yeah, I think it has to be along the lines of actual infidelity, because I don't think that unless it's just something completely irresponsible.
So if I just withdrew all the money from our joint accounts,
you go ahead. You go for it, champ.
No, I mean like our mortgage money. Like if I just like,
if you did something like that,
let's say I just withdrew all the money, because we have a joint account for paying our household expenses, right? So mortgage, utilities, whatever. If I just withdrew all the money and like use it for whatever, like, is that enough? And let's say I wasn't planning on paying it back. I was just like, I need this.
And you just did it and didn't tell me? Or well, I would see that, first of all.
Right.
Yeah. You would have some explaining to do.
Okay. And what if I just was like, I needed it for whatever and I didn't plan to pay it back? Like, I'm trying to figure out what would be the scenario where you'd be like, oh, hell no, she got to go.
I think that the only scenario that I can truly, truly, truly think of is if you did something with this house.
Like what?
I don't know. Like something along the lines of, I don't know.
Like take out a loan
second
on it
mortgage. Yeah, just something like that.
Interesting.
You get what I'm saying?
So take on more debt. Joint debt.
Not sure. Let's just go with that.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you were to take money out of an account and you said you needed it, it would just be like, why'd you need it? If you're like, because I wanted to go have fun, like, all right.
Because I wanted to buy a first class flight.
That's not responsible.
Okay, but would that be grounds to leave me?
I wouldn't leave you for that.
What would you
just
do?
Probably stop putting money in our joint account. And we would just have to deal with that a different way.
He said we ain't doing that no more. Okay?
Like, okay, cool. You go take care. You can have your first class.
That's
first class
crazy.
flight. That's cool.
That's hilarious.
But it would just be a lessons learned. It's like, because again, that doesn't sound. I mean, it's not essentially. I guess it is stealing, right? It's a form of stealing.
It's absolutely stealing.
Yeah, it's stealing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I would leave you. I would just be like, cool, adjust.
Interesting.
Adjust accordingly. What about you?
I think if you became like addicted to something and it became a financial problem, like let's say you started gambling and you just couldn't stop and you just started like gambling all that money, or let's say you got addicted to a substance and you were spending astronomical amounts of money on this substance to feed this habit, or just something that I think like some kind of connection between mental health and spending. Like, I think that would be definitely grounds for me to at first try to help you get help. But then if you were resistant, I'd be like,
yeah.
So, what we gonna do here? I mean, if we could figure something out where like it doesn't affect me, but the thing is, like, it just doesn't work like that.
Right.
Like, if you are married, even if your finances are completely separate, what your partner spends money on is going to impact you. It's going to impact your lifestyle.
I know.
It's going to impact everything. So there's not really a way around that. So yeah, for me, it would be something like that. If you withdrew all the money out of our joint account for a good reason, I'd be like, okay. But if it was like to buy the latest, I don't know, limited edition ukulele or something, I would be like, bro, you need to pay that back or I'm suing you. I would sue you for it. Absolutely.
Wow.
What the heck? You need consequences.
So
there's nothing else I can do.
My first edition ukulele is not as important as your first class flight.
You could have sued me, okay? You decided to just not have joint accounts, okay? We can pick our remedies.
That's true.
I would be like, look, you can pay it back, or I could take you to court. Look, however you want to do this, but I'm gonna resort to the remedies available to me. I can't spank you.
So is that what repair would look like? Assuming me?
Yes, reparations. No, you can pay the money back. You can either do it over a payment plan or you could do it in a large lump sum. Or if you refuse to pay the money back, I would probably sue you in small claims court.
Wow.
And then we'd probably have to go to couples therapy to repair our marriage after having a lawsuit.
I see.
I mean, I don't know what else.
No, I got you.
To do.
Everybody got their thing. It fits.
Yeah.
You are an attorney, so I guess.
I like to resort to legal remedies.
Yeah.
So let's just close out with, okay, now we talked about financial infidelity, but what are some things that people can do right now? So 3 things that people can do right now, implement today to help prevent financial infidelity, right? Like what kinds of systems or mindsets could they put in place to not have to deal with these issues?
Yeah, I think the very first thing is having those financial check-ins, financial date nights, whatever you want to call it, right? It can be whatever you want to call it. But having a day of the week, day of the month, twice a month, doesn't matter. Just some type of regular practice of you talking to each other about your finances.
Yeah.
And the goal here is to not try and fix before you like make it a thing. It's to just be open and honest, get it all out in the air.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
And let that be the base, right? Get comfortable with that discomfort.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be easy at first, right? Go ahead.
Right. I think to even get there though, you have to create an environment where both people feel comfortable being transparent about what's going on, right? Like having conversations about money is not super common, especially with Black people. Like they don't be wanting to talk about how much they make. It's so taboo, right?
Yeah.
Like we all know everybody in here making 6 figures, but nobody want to say what anybody makes. Like it's just the weirdest thing. But I think making it a space where people feel comfortable talking about money, talking about debt, talking about goals, whatever, and not judging.
Yeah.
Right. Which is very difficult for humans.
Yes.
But just taking in the information and remembering like you're not better than this person just because you have less debt. They're not better than you. We're all just equal humans trying to figure it out. Okay. And so I think creating that space is another thing that has to happen before they can even get to the place of being like, okay, we have these financial date nights. Like we have weekly financial date nights. Some people might have it monthly or whatever, but we had to set the stage and be like, all right, I know you got some things to tell me. I ain't going to be upset about it. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't worry. It's going to be okay. I'm here with you. We are a partnership. Like, I think setting the tone can be really helpful.
Yeah. I want to also mention before we go into the third one is that we talked a lot about debt, right? Debt can be stressful, sometimes embarrassing to talk about. But another side, the flip side to that is just talking about your checking account, your retirement account,
your paycheck,
your investment account, how much money you have. Because that's another thing that people sometimes don't like to share. Because that can not necessarily give off, I'm embarrassed, but if I tell this person how much money I have, they could possibly take advantage of me.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that as far as full visibility of how much how much do I need to let this person know I got in the bank?
I think that's a whole nother episode, honestly, because Look, I think it's different for men and women. Like,
Yeah.
I think for women, what typically comes up with that is intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Like when a woman starts, like let's say there's a woman who invests or owns things. When she starts sharing the things she has and her plans, some men, I won't say they're turned off by that, but they feel intimidated by that.
Yeah.
And honestly, the relationship can break down right there. Like that could be the end of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then for men, it could be is she trying to take me for what I'm worth? Like it could be a whole different. So we might have to address that in a whole
another episode.
Yeah, another episode.
Would that be called? I wouldn't really be infidelity. I guess no. I don't know. I don't know if it would be classified as infidelity. That's just more just
what would
like
be? Like being a financial predator.
Yeah, financial trust or something.
I don't know.
I guess it's still technically infidelity. I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to figure out a good name for it, because when I think of infidelity, I'm thinking of you doing something wrong and hiding it. Not you're doing well and you're protecting yourself. That's different,
Yeah, but even that protection, like people don't want to talk about prenups. People don't want to talk about any of that. Right. Like it's just very taboo.
But it's because they're doing good. And they're not like hiding.
You know what?
Or shameful.
I think the prenup thing though is because they feel like it is predicting divorce. Like I know a lot of women who don't want to talk about it because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to make it awkward. Like I don't want to make him uncomfortable.
That's like saying I don't want to get life insurance because I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like nah.
I've heard it so many times. Or they just don't have the forward sight or vision to know, like you may have a different situation. This person who you're marrying right now may not be that same person later. And I can speak directly to that. You go into a situation one way and you think it's going to be one thing, but you just can't control how people change, right? Or how the circumstances change. They could get Alzheimer's and forget who you are and decide that all that money is theirs. Like you just don't know. And so I think
why leave it up to that?
Why? Like why even put yourself through that?
If you never have to use the prenup, fantastic.
That's great.
But if it does happen, you do have to use it. You got it, because why not be prepared?
Yeah. So I think that's another conversation for another day. But what's the third thing that they can do right now to prevent financial infidelity?
I would say, the one you got on there, I don't know about that. That's what we just talked about.
Full visibility, okay? Yeah. Full account. I think that is still true, though. Like, if you were like, hey, let me see all your accounts, I'd be like, okay, what do you want to see? Because I can just tell you what's in the accounts. I have no issue telling you. But I think the thing is, it's a boundary thing, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think when you open up Pandora's box and you start to share all that information, if you have a partner who feels entitled to things, you may say, oh, I've saved 100,000. They may say, I have 10,000, and they may see your 100,000 as y'all money, right? It's we got 100,000. Like it's like, whoa, too much dip on ship, young fella.
Okay, I got one that's not full account visibility.
Okay.
I think something that you
so why you don't believe in full account visibility?
Because we just decided that is going to be a topic for another day.
So you ain't been fully visible with your accounts?
That has nothing to do with this.
So have you been fully visible with your accounts?
Yes. If you want to see my account, you can see them. That ain't got nothing to do with
so
this.
You do believe in full account visibility?
Listen. We've never done that, is what I'm saying. Like we've never.
You mean like give logins?
No. Just like, let me see how much money you have here. How much money?
We ask though.
Yeah, but we don't that's not part of our regular financial check-ins.
Oh yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is, I think that is another level of, and I don't know if that's even something that has to happen once things have gone, wrong. And then it's like, all right, now I got to make sure that I'm looking at your accounts to see ... Because there has to be, maybe some breach of trust to then say, in order for me to make sure that I can build this trust back, let's take a look at your accounts. Because I don't know.
Excuse me.
Yeah, like showing debt, cool. Having financial check-ins, that's great. I think another thing that couples can do, a third thing, is talking to each other about how you can help one another. If there is and you've done this with me, right? So let's say tax returns come. Hey, I'm getting this much back in my return this year. Is there any way that, maybe we can figure out, we can take care of your debt this year and then we could tackle mine next year? Like creating a plan that doesn't always and only involve, I got to handle my debt, you got to handle your debt. Like,
that's interesting.
Ask your partner, how you can help them, right?
What?
And it goes. Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I finish?
I can save myself.
Dang.
Oh gosh.
All right, so asking your partner how you can help them, right? Like making sure that they have everything they need, even if it's just having a conversation, right? Like, what happened? How did you, how do you want to handle this? How can I be of assistance? I have this available. Maybe we can handle it like that. And that all goes back to the financial check-ins, making sure that there's no judgment, but ensuring that you're hitting on that. Don't forget that I got your back. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget that we in this together. That's how you sound sometimes. Together.
Now I want to know. Now I want to know.
All right, call the actors.
No. I want to know.
Episode here
real quick. Okay. I just want to know, for the men out there who struggle with the idea that we are a unit.
It's tough.
Okay, I hear you, but for the men out there who are like, I ain't about to take no money from your tax return, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, I'm a man. Oh, like, what helped you get from what I just said to where you are now? Because I distinctly remember that specific conversation and you being like, I don't want your tax return. And I was like, bro, like, what are you talking about? So how do you get from that, like, self-sufficient, macho, I'm the man, whatever, to, my wife is offering to help me. Like, can I let her help me and not feel demasculated or whatever the word is? Like, how do you make that transition?
I think you have to know your partner, because I think a lot of men come to that conclusion because and I might just be speaking for me, but I feel like most men come to that idea of feeling demasculated because they think that other people are going to know somehow.
Oh.
Because maybe they watch too much TV and their wife is talking to her girlfriends like, man, I had to help my husband with this or whatever, right? I feel crazy. Like it all boils down to reputation. And if it's a conversation between you and your wife, then it don't matter, right? Unless she's going around talking about how, you ain't this, you ain't that. That's different. And I think that is where a lot of I'll say it. That's where a lot of the potential fear might be when it comes to a man accepting. And it could be just a feeling, but I feel like a lot of it is, I don't want the word to get out that I couldn't handle this on my own. I don't want her to bring this up later. I don't want her to hold this over my head. I want her to, I want this to be a us thing. And in order for it to actually happen, you have to like give it a shot and see what happens. That's kind of how it was. I was like, all right, let's see. So it goes with, once you try it and you see that it's safe or that you see it's okay and that nothing bad came about. But then you still have that thought of, she might bring this shit up later. She might say something later. She might be like, again, or you know what I mean? Like, just do things to demasculate. Yeah. So those are a lot of the reasons why I feel like, man, it's just, I keep saying the word embarrassed, but they don't want to feel like they couldn't handle it, that they couldn't be the man, like they couldn't, what'd you say? Like they couldn't handle something, especially if it like gets out and then now people are snickering behind their back, like, oh man, he couldn't handle this, or how did this happen, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I think that's part of it too. Just wanting to always show strength, wanting to always be in the best light. Yeah. I think that is part of it. And again, I might be talking for myself, but I feel like, that's a trait of men. They don't want to be embarrassed in that way. They don't want to be seen as, someone who couldn't handle or someone who needed financial assistance from.
That's another episode too.
It is.
Yeah. We're going to have to talk about that and break that down. It sounds crazy
when you say it out loud. Like someone who doesn't need financial assistance from their life partner. Like it sounds a little wild, but
it's fine. Yeah, we're gonna dig into that. But thank you for sharing. I think that's very insightful. I think it's gonna help a lot of people.
Hopefully.
But Thank you for sticking with us. If this episode hit home for you, share it with your partner, right? Or if you're watching it together, drop a note in the comments. Let us know. Like, have y'all had these types of conversations? If not, would you like to start? No judgment. It's really creating a safe space for us to have these types of conversations so that we can build wealth and freedom together, right? So we are Forever Edwards, and we will see you next month.
Catch y'all next month.